in the car, so I thought we'd do a quick question and answer session today, just around all things Resin and Drayton Estates Group. So my first question, Ben, what is a Resin driveway?
A Resin driveway is the mutt's nuts to start with, just to add. It is built up of predominantly 200mm at least of permeable subbase, which is clean stone, no fines, to basically keep the finished surface, permeable. We then add, for a driveway, we would add 30mm of Wisbech base system, which consists of a layer of mesh with 30mm of resin-bound aggregates, slightly bigger stone, around 10mm. You'd let that dry. You would then put SRM mesh system down on top of that for a bit more strength, followed by 18mm of top coat.
Sounds good. So in your experience, how long does it take for you to do that process?
So we'd normally aim for the dig out to be done within day one, and possibly the first layer of base aggregates in, and rolled and whacked in, ready for day two, which would then be finishing up the stoning up process, get the matting down, ready for the Wisbech system the following day.
Sounds cool. And when you talk about, obviously, the layers that it gets in through, does that make it better for what? Depth, strength, durability?
It's all of those, to be fair. And also, the deeper you go, you're basically creating a giant soak away. So when that water does go through, when we get some decent rain, or you're using your hose pipe, whatever it is you want to do, you've got a decent cubic meterage there to store the water before it sort of permeates into the ground.
Yeah, in terms of maintenance on the driveway, what would you need to do to a Resin driveway? So, like, obviously with sort of your standard block paving,
yep,
that gets a lot of weeds coming through. It has all the sort of uptake of keeping them bright and shiny, because ultimately they dull and fade with tyre wear or what have you. What is the process on Resin?
Basically, with Resin, it is pretty weed resistant. So you've got no soil for anything to grow in, and because you've got no fines, there is literally nothing for any sort of seeds or bulbs or anything to actually take and grow in. And obviously, with it all being permeable, there's not really a water supply there for anything to grow either. With regards to the coloration of it, everything's UV resistant. We install all the Wisbech systems are all UV resistant. So the colour doesn't fade in the sun, the weather doesn't bother it at all. The only thing you're really going to need to do is just give it a wash, sort of once a year, twice a year if you're feeling really fruity, and every couple of years just give it a wash and a reseal.
Is it true that having a Resin driveway can improve the value of my property?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's the sleekest, freshest, most modern driveway you could ever have. I mean, it just, it's gleaming, it's smooth, it's pucker, it doesn't wear, doesn't really fade, so yeah. I mean, when people see a Resin driveway, they go, oh, we haven't got to worry about that anymore. So you've instantly added 10-20 grand to your property, and I've just made those numbers up, by the way, but it could even be more than that.
So something that I see quite a lot of now is obviously vans being parked up at houses and things like that. Does a Resin driveway, is it suitable for heavy loads or heavy goods vehicles?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even the standard laying depths are still adequate for most vehicles, well, nearly all vehicles. However, if you had a particularly heavy vehicle, say a 3.5 ton, something like that, van or truck, you could basically make the spec to whatever it needs to be, to make sure that driveway doesn't go anywhere. So, I mean, if that just means adding 5 or 10mm to the sub base, or to the Wisbech system, or even add 2 or 3mm to the top coat, it can be completely bespoke to each situation that we find on each job. So,
and what's the benefit of wash and reseal?
It just basically brings it back to brand new, gets all the grime and the dirt off, and then the reseal just gives it that sort of brand new glossy shine back, like the day it was when we laid it.
How does it differ in weather conditions? So obviously in the UK we're known for having proper seasons, if you like. So you've got the sun, you've got the rain, you've got the snow, you've got the ice. how does it tolerate all that?
So obviously the sun, well, like we've said before, it's UV resistant, and then sort of your winter months, because of its permeability capabilities, there's no standing water ever sits in that resin, so you can't get a build up of water for that then to freeze over and blow all the resin out. The water's already gone through the resin and down underneath into the sub base and then into the soil underneath that. So you're never going to get that blowout frost cause any problems.